Former New Haven Police Chief Karl Jacobson expected in court. He's accused of stealing tens of thousands of dollars in taxpayer money to fuel a gambling addiction. And he's facing 2 counts of larceny right now. He's pleaded not guilty, and prosecutors say more charges could be filed as they continue to look at bank records. He's free on bond this morning, but is not allowed to place any bets or visit casinos.